We're going to page, excuse me, Taf Resh Nun Tes. And over here, we're going to look at the very bottom. And I spent some time working on these names because I'm really not familiar with them. I had to look them up. Now let's see what he's about to say. Tzione Marai Makomos. So he's going to have an index here of different places that we could see where people talked about our subject. The Siyum, so at the conclusion, he said in the Tzayim Khan, we're going to list here Kilo Huvakan, that he said that rock, let me get this down here, Amafarshim, al the SIFRA Tzniuta, that we're only talking about the Farshim that have to do with the SIFRA Tzniuta. But really the truth is there's hundreds of works. Shecharichu the Voyer, that they really went in length to describe this particular phrase, Divrei HaSifra Tzniuta, because now you see that many, many great rabbis got themselves involved in this Sifra Tzniuta. Kan Malchu HaShaychus Bein Maimer HaDoshach Tadshah Aretz. What's the significance, or what in fact, how do they go together? This phrase Tadshah Aretz, so this has to bring forth plant life from the land. L'pasav Nisan Nafsho Seichem, to that pasuk. Many of them brought in this particular mimer for the Sifra Tzniuta Khan b'shem Medrash Paliya. It's found in something called the Medrash Paliya. But in science, so now we're going to come and we're going to point out the Fanenu Acherim Mehem Kedl, that we're going to see later on. Well, he's going to say what these Sfarim are, and I had to really look up these names, so let me see what I can do with it. Rebbe Sefer Nachlos Azriel. This is a Rebbe Azriel Ashkenazi, wrote this in Frankfurt. They gives the date Taf Nun Aleph. Then he says Yosef Avraham is also a rabbi, wrote it. The Rebbe, I forgot the real Shaltiel. I forgot what that Yud stands for. I think it's, I don't know. The Re Shaltiel. He comes from Saloniki. Salonika, after the expulsion from Spain, became a major source of Torah in the Mediterranean. Avraham Anochi, so Avraham Anochi, Rabbi Avraham Falaji, from Izmir, and this is the date in which he wrote this. And he says Merkavas Mishnah, that's from, I'm not sure what this abbreviation meant, Ayin Hey Olav HaTorah, I'm not sure. The Rebbe, I think it's, I forgot already, Shimon Melchoma, Machalma, I'm not sure. So Perik Bereshis, so go the Yismach Moshe, also in the Yismach Moshe, the Rebbe Moshe Teitelbaum, and then there's Aryeh Debe Elor, the Rebbe Avraham Leib Lipschitz, B'Dechidus Sefer. There's a book called Siphorim, which come from Shlomo, this is named Gansfried, Rebbe Shlomo Gansfried, Reish Perik Bereshis. He's because of the Ksav Sofer. Is Rebbe Avraham Shmuel Benjamin Sofer. This is famous people in Hungary. Reish Perik Bereshis again. Chakel Yitzchak is from the Svinka Rebbe, I guess. Reish Perik Bereshis again. Hamakane, that person. The Rebbe Alav, he says. He says, Eli Zusman Sofer, Akdama, he says, V'chavatoris Maritz, the Ritz, he's called Dushinsky is his last name. And then Divri Yoel, which of course is the famous Satmar Rav, Mesatmer Bereshis, also talked about this. I just want to bring it in to give you an idea of the panoply of people in the highest levels of Torah who are working on this. Now, let me see before I get everything screwed up. Let me bring this up here. We're going to be learning. Let me bring it up higher. So, let me see, where am I at? Make sure I got in the right place. I'm thinking in the wrong place. Okay, here we go. So, here we go. Okay, now I figured it out. I got the wrong mark. So here is where we're at right now. And I'm going to read the top, and the top doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you just read it without reading the introduction. Korenin Yud Ilo Yud Tato. So we see, I guess we call or we read. There's a Yud up above and a Yud down below. Now I saw later that he's talking about the word Yehi, I think. V'yitzer. So he said V'yitzer, there's two Yuds there again, and which means the formed. Yud Ilo, Yud Ta. There we see there's two Yudim again. So he says, and he points out in parenthesis that the word Yehi could be in there. Yud Ilo, Yud Ta. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Hey, Begavaihu, so there's a hey in between them. I guess that means on top of them. Iklala the Shlimo. So the general category of completion, Shlim Velo L'Kol Star. It represents completion, perfection, but not in every place. He says, is Aker Mehai Aser, uprooted from this place, Shema Doa, this name, V'ishtil Ba'achra, and it gets planted in another place, because V'yita Hashem Elokem, and Hashem planted this name Hashem Elokem. So let me see where we're at here, and that's that. Let's come over and let's get a start in this. So he says, Acher Shabir ki be'ez Iver Zer Anpin, at the time of the gestation of Zer Anpin, the Nukva, low cost of Yehi, the word Yehi is not written by them, which really seems to be talking about the bringing forth the Dasha. Let's see what it means. Hamora al Yitzias V'leda Zer Anpin, because the word Yehi means that it's there. So that means they're born out. Yivoher atacha ba'od besod osius yud k. So now we could also come now to look at the letters of yud and k, shall yehi, that come from the word yehi. There's these three words, which are yak. Shehem sod yud k el yona. They refer to the yud and the k, which are the first two letters of the yud k vav k. Shall erik anpin, and they refer back to zer anpin. Shehem shor sha'elyon. Zer Anpin, which is the upper root of Zer Anpin. So therefore, Yehi, that phrase, Mora al Shlemas Zer Anpin b'shas lidal, so that Zer Anpin is now complete. In other words, he's no longer embryonic, and he's going to be born into the world, so to speak. Akadayim enu shalom the gamri, but he's not completely and totally complete. Ki lo nizgal sechabadayim nukva, because the nukva is still not revealed over here. Amnam, the achash zer anpin ne'ekar memakoma, that after zer anpin is uprooted from his place, v'nishtach b'makom acher, and he becomes planted in another place, bebechinas gadlus, in other words, that he grows to extent where he is as the tremendous consciousness. He bechinas shleimus gemura. This is what the complete shleimus is. Ki oz nisgalsa gama nukva, because now we see also the revelation of the nukva de zer anpin, the nukva nikvus besod be shemus via elokim. So let me just see, I think I read it wrong. The zer anpin, the nukva, the two of them together are called by this name of via elokim. So I guess we'll get started on it, and we'll try to go through this in the light print, in the print down below. He says, Besod Shorish Zer Anpin Baosios Al Yonu Shel Erik Anpin. So it refers to the Yud and K that are coming out of Erik Anpin. V'amaki Shtei Osios Yud Vav Dalad are Yud and Shel Milas Yud K Yud. Krinin Yud Eloi v'Yud Tato. Those are the two Yudin in that name Yehi. Anach b'korem osecha b'sod Yud Elyon Yud Tachton v'hainu os Yud Harishon shall Yehi hu Yud Ha'elyon shall Erik Anpin. Shehu sod kruma Eloh hamakefet v'sosemis as hamochas dimor, which surrounds and closes up the mochas dimor, the Erik Anpin. Ba'os Yud Hasheni shall Yehi. So that's the first one. That's the Yud that's coming from the Most High. Hu Yud Tachton Shuhu Sod Zer Anpin Atzmo. So the two Yuds are Erik Anpin and Zer Anpin. Zisa Vihine Yud Tachton Shuhu Zer Anpin hu nishrosh v'niskayim b'yuda elyon shel Erik Anpin. V'omer od, ki shtei yudim elu, these two yudin shel milus yehi, heim sod shtei yudin shel milus v'yetzer. It's also the same yud that you see in the concept of creation or forming up. Hanizker b'pasuk yisecha v'yetzer v'shem elokim as Adam. That for that making he made man. So how did he do it? With a yud law and a yud tato. Yud law, yud tato, ki ne shtei yudin elu, heim sod yud elyon de Erik Anpin, v'yud taknon de zer Anpin, v'ha'inyan, who the inyan is like this. She yitziras zer Anpin ad nikra Adam, choyse besod tsura besod tsura. It's the concept of a form within a form. Now what does that mean? McCaven, why would that be? So he said, McCaven, let's say the word also means creation. So the Erik Anpin mislavish b'tok zer Anpin is clothed inside of zer Anpin. V'omer od yehi, and it says furthermore yehi, yud law yud tata is hey, and the hey gabayhu. What does that mean? He ne in his boyer shtei yudin shel milus yehi. So explain this. Besod yud elyon de Erik Anpin v'yud tachnon de zer Anpin. V'amnan yesh gam os hey bein shtei yudin elo, but there's a hey between them. V'yivur loholon, we're going to explain later on. He sod ruach chaim yotzach mechoitim Erik Anpin. Now let's go through the phrase again. He says, what is this? He says, this is the sod of a ruach chaim. That hey represents a ruach chaim that's coming from the chotim of Erik Anpin, the hachios as zer Anpin, and brings life into zer Anpin. So you go, apparently it's like an interface, so which brings chiyus. So he says, v'omer od klal de shlimo. So he says, talks about the general perfection. He said, milus yehi, hu klal shlemo shel zer Anpin. This is the category of the perfection of zer Anpin. So he says, why? Shahare osius yud ke shel milus yehi, because those letters, yud ke, that come from the word yehi, heim sod kruma ilah, they refer to the upper crust. Now this is a deep place inside of Erik Anpin. Shal chachma. So he said the kruma ilah shal chachma the keser v'ruach. So let me. I'm reading it wrong. So he said, so kruma ilah shel chachma, the keser of the chachma of keser. There's a kruma over the chachma stimor of zer Anpin, of Erik Anpin. I'm sorry. V'ruach hachotem, and then this ruach that comes from the nose, hayotze b'bina the keser, which comes from the bina the keser, the chachma and bina inside of the keser of Erik Anpin. That's where this origin is. V'os yud achron, then you come to, this is the first two letters, is chachma and bina of the keser of Erik Anpin. V'os yud achron shel yehi, hu zer Anpin. Atzmo refers to zer Anpin, shenishras v'niskayim ba'osius yud ke elyona de Erik Anpin kanal. V'zechav shleimus haklali. This is the complete and total shleimus. Yesh shel zer Anpin. So now we have zer Anpin in shleimus. Shalim, but he says he's shalim, that is zer Anpin, has this Erik Anpin, this aspect of Erik Anpin within him, and this perfects him to the point we could be born. But he's still not complete. Shalim v'lo l'kol star. He's not all sides. He's not complete on all sides. Amnam av shemilas yehi romas the sod shlemas. So it's telling about the shlemas of zer Anpin. Kamosha his boy, as we've explained. Im kol zecha be'ein kan shlemas gemura b'kol tzadadim. So all around zer Anpin, he's not complete. Why? Mekaven she'ein nizker nukvach the zer Anpin b'milas yehi, because in the word yehi does not help you to see that there's a nukva there, because that just goes through the ruach, which is the hay. The upper yud goes through the hay, it breathes life into zer Anpin, and he's ready to go. But where is the nukva of zer Anpin? In the shalom the garment below nukva. V'inyan, so this remember marumas beloshen pasuk is really referenced in this pasuk. Kihinei tequila. Now here's back into this mysterious phrase again. But it doesn't say yehi, so that means it's not born out. It's time when gestation. So he's still inside the womb, so to speak, and he's not revealed at all. Shum shleimus canal, he's not complete, any kind of completeness. He said, but then after that, be'ez latest v'yitzias thereon, but now he's born out. Oz amar apostle v'yehi kain, then let it be so. So v'yehi, once again, is a manifestation of Leda. Ki atach nigdach b'nishlam zer anpin, and now he's grown, he's completed. V'lekach, and for this reason, amar milas yehi defi shehi bechinas shleimus, because it's an aspect of shleimus. Ak im kolze, but with all of this, lo chayser shleimus the gamre kanal. This is what he said. V'hidach b'techila b'yatzav v'nesgalas er anpin below nukva. K'mevur b'lashon apasuk, she'amra b'totza ha'aretz deshe, he said eitz osipri. So he said, what's an eitz osipri? V'lo hisker eitz pri, but it doesn't mention the tree fruit. He says the tree comes out, the zeranpin, but not the fruit. Kamosha hisker kan b'pasuk hakodim. Ella haidara b'shum the ose pri hu zeranpin, ve'etz pri is the nukva de zeranpin. So he said, "B'dechila Rabbi Yatzav in his gala rak zer anpin anikra osa pri v'adayim lo nisgalsa hanukva hanikras eitz pri." Oh, mishum kach, and for this reason, you have to search for this nukva. Mishum kach gam ein nisker hanukva, she's not Rebbe b'midas yehi canal v'atach b'vayir masai nishlam zer anpin b'bechidish shleimus gebora b'kol zadadim. V'amer is aker mahai aser shmado. So it's uprooted. What does that mean? Kizer anpen ne'akar b'makom me'ima. He comes out of the womb. Im bazugo, together with his female mate. V'yatzel l'chutz, he comes out outwards. V'az ne'akar b'zer anpen shem yehi. Hanal then is uprooted from zer anpen, the name yehi. V'ishtil b'achra, and he's planted in another place. V'nishtal b'shem acher, so he becomes planted. Now he has a new name. Kolomer shezer anpin v'nukva nishtalo v'higdila b'bechilas netius, because now they're planted. The sounds of I think we call them saplings, like they're just growing now. V'az nizgala hein. So now, though, as they're replanted and they're planted together, heim zer anpin v'heim anukva b'kol kumalsa. So now you have both of them in their full height. V'nishla b'bechinas shleimus gemura b'kol sedadim, and that's called shleimus gemura. V'oz nikros shenechem b'shem Havaya Elokim, and the two of them together are now going to be called by the name Havaya Elokim. So it's ksiv, and it's written like this: Kamosha Emar v'yita Hashem Elokim. What does that mean? And that's a lashon planting. Pirish. So he said v'yita. That's a next pasuk. V'yita Hashem Elokim. Pirish nishtalu zer anben v'nukba b'bechinas netiya. So when they're finally planted and now they're beginning to grow, this kind of a sapling or a seedling, azai nikroim avaya elokim. That's when they're called avaya elokim. That's an indication of shleimus. That's the shear. This is Baruch Fleischman.